pitch, they have been doing a very wonderful
job. Now, I want us to begin our conversation tonight, and the CHAN Technical Study Group, that is TSG, is in the country, and of course they gave out some outlines on what they've seen that has been good with CHAN 2024. They say there has been tactical evaluation, and all in all, attacking play has really improved among all the teams, the 19 teams that took part in the tournament. And then the players have shown more versatility in CHAN 2024, and there's bold use of young talent. We've seen a number of young talents making a name for themselves in this tournament. Cedric will be mentioning some in a few. And then the hosts are shining into the quarterfinals, and it's a push for them, of course, at least one or two to get into the finals. And it's rise of East Africa when you talk about football. Cedric, let's begin with tactical evaluation and attacking play. Remember, this group is led by former South African player Mark Fish.
I totally agree when they talk about the tactical ability of the technical bench, and also being able to read the game and advancing to the style of how the game actually pans out. And that necessarily does not even fall far from our country. We are all kind of getting mesmerized on how far our team has been surged on, basically basing on the tactical approach of each and every game they are faced. Look at how they have been doing their substitutes after even having fallen down to 10 men. That means the technical bench has been able to read the game and employ the tactic that can really make them survive into the game. And even you go by their style of play, for the first time, actually I failed to mention in all the shows that we have had, I've been following the Kenyan team and I've been seeing the kind of rotation. Sometimes you see Mansouri actually falling back to defend, he's being deployed to defensive measures, and at a time when Kenya is up to attack, he's also looking for those loose balls so that he can get to the rebounds. Those kind of the rotation within that particular field has been quite impressive. And that's why when they talk about the tactical ability, and not necessarily falling to Kenya, even the TZ, we have seen how they have been rotating their players. You might think that a player is a striker, and sometimes you see him actually offering the defensive services when required to. And those are the services that you need. Similarly to Uganda, South Africa. And remember, the most interesting has been Sudan. How they have been playing. You know, their style is so slow and not that much pacey. But they have been playing like a block. They are going forward when they are attacking, and they are falling back to offer the defensive. I think it's one of the most defensive teams in this particular tournament. A team that has not been conceding goals when necessary.
And remember, Tanzania and Uganda are the two teams that have scored the most number of goals in the tournament, 8 and 7 respectively. And they're saying the players have shown more versatility, something that you've spoken about. We've seen players being played out of position, and they adapt to that, and you know, everything flows seamlessly. Bold use of young talent, that is something that they said they've seen in the tournament, and this is something that has impressed you in CHAN 24.
True, and I've been looking for this to happen in our continent, that is Africa, because we have been seeing it in Europe. Sometimes we get so surprised when actually Europe slots in a 16-year-old player, 17-year-old, the likes of Lamine, Yamal, 18 years old, the likes of Pau Kubasi, and you are like, 19, 18 years old can really play into such kind of a very intensive kind of game. But it has now come to happen here in East Africa, and not even necessarily falling far from ours. You have seen the likes of Sudan fielding as an 18 years old, the likes of Musa Ali, and he has done wonders. Even he has a goal, I think, on his card. That literally tells you how the game of soccer in East Africa and Africa at large is really turning around. We have also seen Senegalese, actually, the likes of Libase Gueye coming in. Those are still their teenagers, and they're still playing that particular team. Similarly, falling to the likes of Uganda, which is mad by the likes of Torach, 22 years old. How the likes of Iju Semubagala, those are the 22 years old. It tells you a story of future that's being prepared by these teams. And more so, if those youngsters form and maybe raise to occasion, when their times really comes, it's a presentable for a team that will bound to challenge for the better glory.
Kenya equally has young talents.
Yeah, we have the likes of Suleiman Mansouri in our Kenya. Even Ryan Ogam is equally 21 years old, and they're doing wonders. You know, that urge and that charisma, and also the audacity of really carrying that young mentality to that given stage, and you surge on and give the result that they required, is what actually is putting a sort of question to it. It's like we have been sleeping on job. We have had players who can really represent us well at that particular tender age, and we couldn't actually pick them. We have just mentioned the likes of Ryan Ogam. We have the likes of Alfonso Mija. He's also equally at 22 years old, and he's manning that central. He went the hardest beat in the field actually to manage the defense. And a central midfielder, so central defender, he does a lot of job in terms of communicating. First, he needs to communicate with the goalkeeper, link the goalkeeper with the attack, which is the midfield, and each and every time you find set pieces, he needs actually to run, go to find goals and
come back,
stride back. It's kind of needs somebody with experience to do that kind of job. But we have seen, literally here in Kenya, we are presenting youngsters who are really raising to occasion, and they are giving us the result that we have been looking for.
And even your favorite player from Tanzania, Clement, is also 21.
Though to me it's quite controversial, I literally did not agree with that from the word go. And I doubt if Tanzania is giving us literally the correct figures that we need. Though, if he's 21, as they say, time is bound to tell a story for us. Because if you are 21, you need to offer the service of the next 10 to 13 years.
Yes.
If he retires as well as early, we'll start questioning his 21 years of age. But we'll just stand by the record. Now that he's 21, let it be. He's a number 9, has done wonders, has been scoring for Tanzania. He's actually hovering around that D area and giving the result that the Tanzania need. So as to say he's bringing in the energy at 21 years could be bringing in. We will just go with that at 21. And we'll agree with the 21, but he need to live to the mark and continue servicing Tanzania for the next 13 years.
And they say it's East Africa rising.
It is, that's true. And that's a topic for the other day. Even after the tournament, that's a topic that we need to oil around it. And it's a topic that is telling a story of this East Africa, not necessarily East Africa, but Africa is ceasing from calling other teams underdogs. The so-called underdogs, the so-called giants are being followed by the underdogs of this tournament. But and again, as you say, I think the game of soccer and the phenomenon and also the digital aspect has changed the game of soccer because they have their village. The globe has been reduced into their village. They can literally emulate what Lamine Yamal is doing all the way from Spain and try to bring back in East Africa. And necessarily to say and to echo the words of McFish, I could literally say that this is a wake-up call for the East African nation. The whole 3 nations, not necessarily even East and Central, the Sudan, they are into quarterfinals. So as the CAF region has risen, if they can pick from the result that they are really registering right now and go ahead and maybe start performing at a higher stage like Africa Cup of Nations, we'll still appreciate. Because the question comes now, and I start being asking myself a question like, all the teams that have been eliminated are the team that we'll be watching coming in December. They have qualified for Africa Cup of Nations. The team that have been left in this particular tournament, majority of them have not qualified for Africa Cup of Nations. What are the questions? What has been actually bedelving us to an essence that we cannot qualify for Africa Cup of Nations? If at all we can eliminate the likes of Burkina Faso, we can eliminate the likes of South Africa, we can eliminate the likes of DRC. Why is it that we are not playing at the higher stage? We are only playing well at the lower stage.
Yes, of course, those are some of the points that the TSG gave on CHAN 2024 tactical evolution and attacking play. Players have shown more versatility. There's bold use of young talent in the tournament. The hosts are shining because all the 3 of them are in the quarterfinals, and it's East Africa rising. Hassan Juma, I don't know what you have to say on the TSG's points.
I'm equally excited that the co-hosts, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, are all in the quarterfinals. It means that in the past, we've been looking towards the North and West Africa, and a bit on South Africa, because those are the countries that have been performing so well in these big championships. But all of a sudden, there's a big upsurge of talents and showing the world, you know what, football is not only made in West, North, and South Africa, but also East Africa. We are just not only known in athletics, but also we can produce some of the big names. You can dine with the big boys in football. So it's really an exciting period.
Yeah, definitely, and also it's for the preparation for 2027.
Oh yes.
This is what we are going to be expecting 2027 during the AFCON. Remember, the 3 countries again are going to be hosting the tournament. So this is good preparation and also good view of what to expect in 2027. And of course, being in the quarterfinals, the 3 hosts, it's something very encouraging. So we need to ensure that
the final that's going to be played at Kasarani, at least Kenya is there,
And
or
you know,
Tanzania, or Uganda.
And you know, according to CAF, we are allowed, so
Yes.
to speak, to make some small mistakes as co-hosts.
Yes.
But those mistakes cannot happen during the AFCON
Yes.
in 2027. But CHAN is just preparations for the big one.
Now, if this is what is going to happen in 2027, then we are
As
in
long as
for
we
some
sort,
good
as long as we solve
entertainment.
the tickets issue. Anyway, tonight we're asking you which player impressed you the most. Which player
Right.
impressed you the most?